All types and levels of governments have at one time or another proven to be corruptible, and the last thing we need is a corrupt world government. Here's an interesting question. Would we be better off with a corrupt world government or with no world government at all? In my view, we are likely doomed with either of those two options. The third option, the only one that holds any promise for us, is a corruption-free world government. That was the opening paragraph from chapter 5 of Jim Stark's book, Rescue Plan for Planet Earth, Democratic World Government Through a Global Referendum. The chapter is called Transparency at the DWG, Democratic World Government. The author believes that global politicians and civil servants should lead recorded working lives. He thinks that democratic world government representatives should be wired while on duty. He says that they should wear a voice-activated tape recorder or the digital equivalent of the same, and he goes on to say, all these while on duty recordings, probably thousands of hours of tape every day, would then be copied and permanently archived at two separate physical locations. They would be made digitally available to the public from an independent security service charged with transcribing and posting the spoken words on the internet as a transcript or in audio form. And a couple of sentences later, the author says, all major DWG proceedings could be televised live on a dedicated DWG channel, and archived videos could be made available to anyone over the internet. These may seem like wasteful practices until we remember the point of it all. And the task is manageable with new technologies that can store massive amounts of audio or even transcribe spoken words into print automatically. In these ways, all activities of DWG officials would be 100% transparent. As well, human nature being what it is, we can know in advance that millions of people and thousands of watchdog organizations will be listening to every minute of recorded audio and poring over all the transcribed words in search for lies, contradictions, equivocations, or even the slightest indication of something scandalous or illegal. Well, I imagine that a lot of what the author says there sounds controversial and perhaps even scary to most people. But for me, taking into account the amount of damage that's been done by politicians over the centuries who've stolen from the public purse and lied about their official activities, and who have just basically bribed or threatened their way through public life. Does it not seem perfectly reasonable to say that such safeguards or corruption-proofing methods and technologies should be put in place to protect the people and see that justice is served? Could we really accept anything less than 100% squeaky clean politicians and political practices at the global level? I mean, I would assume that folks want transparency and integrity from their officials, or elected officials even. We don't want any more underhandedness, you know? I think we've all seen enough of that already, you know? No man who is corrupt, no man who condones corruption in others, can possibly do his duty by the community. That's a quote from Theodore Roosevelt in 1900. Most human beings are basically honest, decent, and law-abiding, and that means that we, the basically honest and decent people, have good reason to be upset. It is outrageous that liars and cheaters so often seem to run the show in modern politics, even democratic politics. This should go without saying, but I will say it anyway. To genuinely represent us honest people, a politician must actually be honest. We, the honest people of the world, have to stop being a silent majority and become an insistent majority. With a system in place to assure complete transparency, we, the people, could even trust politicians, something that many of us haven't been willing or able to do for quite a long time. Well, some strong words there from the author, Jim Stark. And here are some more strong words from the author. Democracy means government of the people, by the people, for the people. And you cannot be for the people and lie to them. No lying ever has to be the rule at the DWG. For a DWG parliamentarian or civil servant to lie to the entire human race must be considered just as serious an offence as a teacher abusing a child or a policeman dealing illegal drugs. Well, there are some really excellent points and well-made arguments in this chapter here, and a lot of insightful passages also. I'll leave you with a quote from War and Peace, Leo Tolstoy. Since corrupt people unite amongst themselves to create a force, honest people must do the same. It's as simple as that. Well, have a nice day, boys and girls, and I'll catch you later. Peace.